On Thursday night, the Ministry of External Affairs finally came out with an official statement on the Israel-Palestine war. India has always advocated the resumption of direct negotiations towards establishing a sovereign, independent and viable state of Palestine living within secure and recognized borders side by side at peace with Israel, the statement read. Take a look at this statement from External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi.
India has always advocated the resumption of direct negotiations towards establishing a sovereign, independent and viable state of Palestine, living within secure and recognized borders, side by side, at peace with Israel. I think we've been very clear that we see this as a terrorist attack. There is an universal obligation, I think, to observe international humanitarian law. There is also a global responsibility to fight the menace of terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. And I think that accurately sums up how we look at this position.
Now, what is interesting is that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's initial tweet on the issue only expressed solidarity with the Israeli people and made no mention of an independent state of Palestine. And when Israel launched a counter-offensive at Gaza, there was no comment from Modi nor other BJP leaders expressing solidarity with Palestinians. On the other hand, the Ministry of External Affairs statement insists that there is a universal obligation to observe humanitarian law, that is, Palestine deserves better. Now, if you are thinking that the BJP government has done a massive U-turn on Modi's initial stand on the issue, well, not exactly. The MEA statement did touch upon everything that Modi initially said: solidarity with the people of Israel, condemning terrorism, so on and so forth. It is interesting to note what BJP leaders had to say after Modi's initial tweet. They took the lead from his tweet and made no mention of an independent state of Palestine, something which the foreign ministry has now done.
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में भारत की जो पॉलिसी है आतंक के खिलाफ वो बिल्कुल स्पष्ट है। हमारी जीरो टॉलरेंस है ऑन टेररिज्म, आतंक के ऊपर जीरो टॉलरेंस। अब वो आतंक चाहे किसी भी आकार में हो, देश के दुनिया के किसी भी कोने में हो, उसको स्वीकार हम नहीं कर सकते। और हर वो देश जो आतंक से लड़ना चाहता है उसके साथ भारत खड़ा है। ये प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी की नीति है। इजराइल के ऊपर हमला हुआ, उनका फेंस तोड़कर साधारण नागरिकों को बंदिक बना गया। जिस तरह की तस्वीरें देखी वो खौफनाक तस्वीरें हैं। ऐसा किसी के साथ नहीं होना चाहिए और जो कर रहे हैं वो आतंकी हैं और जो आतंकी है उनको पूरी दुनिया के जो भी सेन लोग हैं, जो भी सही मानसिकता वाले लोग हैं, वो पूरी ताकत से इसका जवाब देना चाहिए।
After condemning the attacks on one day, on Israel on one day, the very next day they talk about standing for the rights of self-determination and life and land and self-dignity of the Palestinian people. Who are they deluding and who are they trying to fool? Did you notice, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, the ferocity and the brute force and the absolute hellishness of that attack? If you are a human being, which I'm sure you are not, because you are just following the blind foreign policy that has led us into disaster of your grandmother, your father, and so on and so forth, and where the other prime ministers such as Narasimha Rao ji and Manmohan Singh also were forced to follow.
So why would BJP let its leaders speak like this and let the foreign ministry come out with a different version of things after 5 days and say something that only falls in line with the Congress government's stand from the past? Perhaps there is a method to this madness. BJP's politics on the basis of religion has never taken a backseat and they are known to go to great lengths to execute that. The fact that its leaders refrained from mentioning anything on an independent state of Palestine and only went about condemning terror attack on Israel perhaps sends out a message when Muslims across the world have been protesting against Israel's bombardment of Gaza. In this case, even BJP went all out on Congress for its official stand backing Palestine. But now, with the foreign ministry doing what it has to, the question arises as to why the Modi government would deliberately contradict itself. Well, with this, the BJP has now conveniently achieved two things. The first thing, after Modi's tweet, they kept the country talking. The BJP, from ministers to small leaders, only spoke about the Hamas attack and did not utter a word on Israel's action, be it from the past or present. The overzealous right-wingers on social media started peddling narratives about the atrocities committed on Israelis by Palestine, an Islamic country. Well, the BJP leaders did not directly spin narratives, but the Prime Minister's tweet and the subsequent one-sided statements perhaps sent out a message to BJP followers. When you condemn Hamas attack and not utter a word on Palestinians being attacked by Israel, what does it imply? On the other hand, the opposition Congress comes out and condemns the attack on Israel and makes its policy clear on an independent state of Palestine. Not a word at the time from the foreign ministry, and 5 days later, the official statement houses what Modi had tweeted and adds a bit of balance to India's stand on the issue with a statement on the independent state of Palestine. Official statement for the world to see has been made, yes, but arguably the damage against Islamic Palestine is already done. Foreign policy made clear, but BJP's Hindutva politics does not get hurt on the home ground. A classic case of running with the hare and hunting with the hound strategy.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.